Should be quick.
Just give it a moment for everyone to come in from the waiting room. Good afternoon. This is a hearing before the Boston Cannabis Board. Today is Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. Today's hearing is being conducted pursuant to certain temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing will be recorded and will be posted to the city's website. While the public is welcome to attend and encouraged to attend, there will be no additional public testimony. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Good afternoon. My name is Kathleen Joyce. Thanks for joining us today. I'm chair of the Boston Cannabis Board, and today I'm joined by Commissioner Lisa Holmes, Commissioner John Smith, Commissioner Darlene Lombos, and our project manager, Jasmine Nguyen.
Thank you. I will read the item into the record, after which I will ask for comments from the chairwoman commissioners, after which I will ask if there are any, if there is a motion, whether there are any questions on the motion, and then we will move forward. As a reminder, each commissioner has the ability to grant conditionally pending additional information or another item, to reject with prejudice, which does not allow the applicant to reapply for 1 year, or to defer, which would move this vote to another agenda. Calling the Cannabis Station LLC. The proposed license premise is 2363 to 2365 Washington Street in Roxbury. This is an application for a recreational cannabis dispensary license with hours of operation Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. This is a certified equity applicant. The date of initial application was September 30th, 2020. The date of filing with Inspectional Services was October 31st, 2019. And the date of the community meeting was June 2nd, 2021. There is a buffer zone conflict as this applicant is located within a half-mile of an existing cannabis establishment pursuant to the board's rules and regulations. Chairwoman Joyce, do you have any comments regarding the applicant?
I think it was a very strong application. I was happy to see this equity application before us, and despite the buffer zone, I think during the presentation, they adequately described that the neighborhood could sustain another retail marijuana establishment within this half-mile zone. From my perspective, I didn't see any glaring issues that stood out. I didn't have any additional questions, and they did score very highly.
Thank you. Commissioner Holmes, do you have any comments?
Again, I thought they were a very strong candidate. I was very impressed with their presentation. I love the fact that they have secured the Bailey's lot for parking for their business and the programs that they're going to host and support the workers. And the only question I had was about the training for universal security, which I researched, and thank you for sending the additional information, and I looked into all that. So I was impressed. Like I said, they had a lot of support from abutting businesses in the community. So I was very impressed. And so no, I have no further comments for them.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
Yeah, I thought overall very strong. I'm still a little bit concerned about the transient population in Nubian Square and exposure to young school-age children, but overall, strong application. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lombos?
Thank you. Yes, I agree with my fellow commissioners. Very strong application. I particularly like the home ownership program. That was very helpful given the rising costs here in Boston. Overall, just high scores, community support. There was virtually no opposition. It was a really great application. So thank you so much. I agree with my fellow commissioners.
Thank you. Chairwoman Joyce, do you have a motion?
Yes, I am pleased to make a motion to grant this applicant a license at this location.
And that would be to grant conditionally pending the buffer zone variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals. Are there any questions on the motion? Seeing no questions, is there a second? All right, all in favor? And there are none opposed. So this license is granted conditionally pending obtaining the half-mile buffer zone variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals. On old and new business, the public comment period regarding the proposed amendment to the rules and regulations regarding delivery is closed. All of the comments received have been provided. The text of the proposed amendment reads, delivery, no licensee in the city of Boston, including but not limited to recreational cannabis dispensaries, manufacturers, and cultivators, may engage in the delivery of recreational cannabis, including through a licensed courier or delivery operator without the express written permission of the Boston Cannabis Board. And the impetus behind that draft amendment for the board's consideration was that with the courier and delivery license types coming online, that if someone was located outside of the city of Boston, the board would have no regulatory oversight over those establishments specifically coming into the dispensaries located within the city of Boston. And there were some concerns about queuing and kind of making sure that the board was aware of what the specific plan for each of these was going to be. So that's kind of the background. Are there any questions about the draft amendment? Yes, Commissioner Holmes.
I just want to make sure I understand this. So we will be licensing delivery services that are registered within the city, but this language allows us to monitor other delivery services that are coming in?
Exactly. So this doesn't impact the actual delivery of the product to the consumer. But right now, if let's say, for instance, in East Boston, if a cannabis establishment wanted to offer delivery, people could come in from outside of the city, line up in front, and this board would have no say over how the actual brick and mortar store is entering into those agreements and ensuring that there's not a negative impact on the community.
Got you. So they have to request approval from us to use a delivery service.
Exactly. And the other thought was that it also puts the onus on the actual brick and mortar facilities to do that work in their community and to make sure that there's no negative impact.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions on delivery? Any other comments on the delivery amendment? Chairwoman Joyce?
I just think this strengthens our rules and regulations as a board, and I'm happy to see that we are able to have this comment period. I think it was missing in our original rules and regulations, and it provides predictability and a little bit of control from the neighborhood. And I think those two things are very important as we roll out even more establishments throughout the city.
Thank you. Chairwoman Joyce, would you like to make a motion or would you like to hold this until our next hearing?
If there are no other questions or comments, I'd like to make a motion.
All right, so is it a motion to approve the draft amendment to be incorporated into the rules and regulations?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the draft amendment.
Is there a second? Oh, Commissioner Lombo seconded. All in favor? And there are none opposed. So the language will be incorporated into the rules and regulations and will be reposted. That is everything we have before the board today. Thank you all very much for joining us.